Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Lamp Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about form, exercise form, and sometimes it changes. You know what I mean? Sometimes it changes. I just had somebody ask me, and hopefully my sound sounds good here because I'm moving around, and hopefully the microphone's not getting, you know, touched or manipulated in any way, so that way you can hear the sound very clearly. But what I wanted to talk about today was the fact that sometimes your exercise form will change. Sometimes when you're using heavier weight, you'll notice that your form is different than when you're using super lightweight, and I've talked about this. And there's a couple different reasons for this, because what's spurring this video is that I just recently had a nice guy just say, hey Jason, what are you swinging the dumbbells for in the dumbbell curls that I was doing? And I was doing some heavier dumbbell curls in this one video. And the reason why I was swinging the dumbbells was because, first of all, sometimes I'm trying to get the dumbbells around my legs or my quads, which is kind of difficult because I've got shorter arms and the dumbbells bang into the legs. So sometimes I'm trying to circumnavigate the quadriceps in order to get those dumbbells up. And then at the same time, when you're using heavier dumbbells, you'll notice that your form automatically changes because there's a certain amount of counterbalancing going on, right? So obviously if you're using really heavy weight and the heavy weight is in front of you, it'll kind of pull your body forward. So sometimes you have to lean back to compensate for that sort of thing. So most of you guys with common sense can understand that. It does happen, but that doesn't mean that doing super strict form isn't a good idea either. When you do super light weights, like I just went in the garage today and did 25-pound dumbbells for shoulder presses, which is super easy for me, but I was just doing full range all the way down, just kind of stretching things out and just kind of getting a good feel. It's almost like yoga meets bodybuilding, right? I do those types of exercises from time to time as well, but I do notice that when I just do that, there's a certain limitation as far as the type of results that I'll get. So this is why it's good to combine things up and not to become too fanatical about, oh, this is the proper form and this is the improper form, because you'll find that doing both ways works much better than just being exclusive, you know? So the only rule I say for you to really follow is if something's injuring you, definitely don't do that. That's it, really. I mean, that's the major rule that I think is a pretty good rule. I mean, because you're not basically lifting weights to die, right? I mean, if something kills you, then wait a second. I'm in the forest right now. There's a certain element of danger. And I don't know if I should be in the forest, because in this day and age, any element of danger whatsoever is frowned upon, except for the danger which is sold to you, right? Like if you can buy it from some sort of big company, that danger is okay. But walking in the forest by yourself, that's dangerous, you know, because I'm breathing fresh air. As you notice, I'm not wearing a mask right now. Oh my God, I might be getting infected from some sort of tree or something. I got to be careful. I mean, the government says I got to be careful, so I should be careful. Breathing air is dangerous, according to the latest study, I'm sure. So yeah, anyway, what I'm teaching you guys right here is to pay attention to your own body and to make your own decisions, because I believe in the right to be able to choose what you do with your body and experiment and find out what works and what isn't working. And not just trust some idiot on the internet that tells you, hey, you got to do strict form all the time, or you got to do super heavy weight all the time. I can only make suggestions, and then you have to conduct your experiments because you're a free person, aren't you? And maybe you'll be free for a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer, but you're free for now, maybe. And you could choose whether you do strict form or not. Because I am not a politician. I can't force you to do what I tell you. Thank God, right? Yeah. Ooh, this is a muddy place right now. Wow. So my point is, form changes. So another example of this is I'm doing some knees over toe type stuff with one-legged squats just on a stairway. So I stick my foot out a little bit and I bend the knees over the toes. I use some light weight with a dumbbell, and I just wrap out just to hit that medialis muscle and to also pump some blood into the knees. And because I'm using really light weight, this is actually feeling very good. But if I was using too heavy of a weight, this might feel destructive, right? So it's about a delicate balance. So certain types of exercise form also will demand that you're more strict or you use lighter weight than others. So these are also factors that you have to consider when you're training. It's not just like strict form is strict form and you always have to stick to that. It's not really so cut and dry. A lot of times it's about how are you doing the weight or how are you doing the exercise, and depending on how you're doing it will depend on what muscles are playing a major role and what muscles are actually getting hit, And sometimes there'll be less stress or more stress on the joint depending on the form. And if there's a lot of stress on the joint with said exercise, then you have to make adjustments to how much weight you're using accordingly. So you'd use lighter weight. So you'd use lighter weight under that circumstance to make sure that you're not straining anything, but at the same time you are strengthening a muscle that isn't necessarily getting hit during the standard partial range heavyweight form or whatever, right? So I think you get what I'm saying. Form is not always so damn concrete. And that's what I want you to take from this video, is that it's negotiable depending on what you're doing and why you're doing it. And yeah, so sometimes extreme range of motion can be rehabilitative with the right tension. If it's not the right tension, then it can be destructive, right? So there we go. No one size fits all, but I want you guys to find out for yourself and experiment by yourself and figure out what's right for you. Mountain. Anyway, I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalglambodybuilding.com. And thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.